Hello again, Nexomania Development League. As always, my name is Silver Spy. I've been involved with competitive heroes for multiple years, yada yada. Today, we're going to be talking about the final map in this season's NDL pool, Shire. Standard disclaimer that I'm only presenting a basic overview of the most common strategies. This is not an exhaustive list, so as always, feel free to experiment. Shire is another medium 3-lane map. Overall, it's quite simple, although the in-the-moment decision-making is rather complex. First, we'll highlight the 2 siege camps, here and here, as well as the 3 bruiser camps, here, here, and here. Nothing special about these, they're standard camps you see on most maps. Objective is rather special though. Instead of being a periodic fight over one zone, you'll see 2 shrines activate in the top and bottom lane, here and here. If one team stands on the shrine uncontested, the shrine is captured. Be aware that the enemy team can do the same to capture the shrine back though. When one team has control of both shrines, the dragon statue here in the middle becomes active. A member of your team can then channel on it to enter a powerful dragon vehicle, becoming unstoppable, getting a massive health pool, dealing large structure damage, and gaining access to 2 new abilities. Fire Breath and the ability to kick an enemy hero long distances. Objective ends up being active for most of the game, and is a big factor on this map. It spawns early, and it's only when one team manages to capture Dragon, and respawns shortly after Dragon dies. Now that's about it for unique mechanics. As I said, the map is pretty simple on the surface. Let's take a dive into strategy. As always, we'll start with the lane setups. Top is typically your offlane for a few reasons. Bot lane has increased priority because of these 3 camps to fight over. But also top lane has reduced priority because of this bridge here, or here, depending on which side you're on. The bridge is extremely hard to fight over, so much that it's referred to as the Bridge of Death. Teams looking to push top keep are forced to clump over the bridge, giving the enemy team an easy target. Almost no games are entered through top lane on this map for this reason. It's simply too hard to push top keep in most situations. Typical 4-man setup on this map is also different. The meta lane setup is known as 1-3-1. You have your offlaner top, 3 mid, which is your classic tank healer main DPS trio, and 1 bot that's called the anchor. Anchors are essentially a second offlaner, whose job is to sit in one lane and make sure the soak is caught, so the 3-man doesn't have to. Good anchors have solid, safe wave clear, and are hard to gank. Examples of this would be heroes like Junkrat, Lunara, Chromie, or Hanzo. All of these have long range, can clear easily, and have vision tools to ward for themselves. You can also use someone like Raynor or Phoenix, who don't have as much range or vision, but have strong defensive abilities that give them staying power in lane. You can even use another bruiser, although that would leave you down a ranged hero, which can be good sometimes, can be bad. Do it according to what kind of comp you have to draft. The goal of the 3-man mid here is to make sure midwave is cleared quickly and efficiently before immediately leaving to try and make an impact elsewhere on the map. They can take camps, they can try and gank a lane, they can try and set up a push, invade, or anything else they really want to do. The natural evolution of this is a pick comp, which tends to be effective here. If you want some more discussion on the 1-3-1 setup, I'll link a video in the description that goes into more theory and execution. Camp timings are pretty typical. Siege camp, as the easiest and closest, should be captured early and often. Bruiser camp is more of an investment, and it's more out of the way, but still should be captured when you're able. One early strategy is to clear siege camp and immediately pass towards bruisers to set up a strong push in both sides of the map. Neutral bruiser camp is always a good pickup since it creates strong push bot side, but the fact that it's neutral means you can't always capture it when you want to. Although bot is the most important lane, other lanes should not be neglected. The nature of Dragon Shire's objective means the team has to have dominant control in all 3 lanes to capture the Dragon Knight. Getting a fort down in any lane makes it harder for the enemy team to step up to that stage of the objective. If you have fort here, going up to contest this bot shrine is a big risk because the enemy team has their tap and their fort to retreat to, or you have to go all the way back to your keep. Top lane especially has high priority early, as even just getting top wall down makes it much harder for the enemy off lane to contest top point. Mid and bot lanes often have easy and frequent rotation, but oftentimes top lane is left to fend for themselves. So unless you're going to frequently gank there, getting down the top wall or even the entire fort makes it much easier to control the objective there. I'll also quickly point out the Bermuda Triangle over here, since many people go missing. Mid-bot is a common rotation path, and this triangle provides the perfect rotation to there. However, with 3 bushes strategically placed in this rotation path, it's trivial for a team to set up a rotation gank here. Vision control of this area is important, and if you don't have vision here, with enemies missing on the map, they may very well be waiting for you. Overall, the map has a lot of areas like this, with many bushes and odd terrain that creates blind spots, so be on your guard when trying to rotate. As I mentioned before, classic pick comps work well on this map, although there are certainly other options. You could draft a fight over points, prioritize push, or even ditch 1-3-1 entirely, go 1-4, and run a combo comp. Offlane especially has 2 options. They can either try to win point, or they can go for frequent rotations to catch mid-soak and help their team in fights. Either is completely valid, and ceding top point control is completely fine into a losing matchup. Dragon Shire objective, although very important, is also very, very hard to cap, and you're often fine not controlling top point for a long time, as long as you control mid, bot, or both. Standout heroes for point control tend to be your duelists, like Artanis, Sonya, Chen, etc. Rexar is also extremely good at this role, as he has strong 1v1 potential, but he can also catch wave with his main body, while Misha holds the point. Normally, offlaners can't sit on the point forever, else they miss soak in lane, but Rexar can do both. Even if a hero can win against Misha on point, as soon as they step to soak lane, Misha immediately can cap point again, meaning you have a very hard time holding point for any significant amount of time. Normally, offlaners, good rotation heroes are Leoric, Dahako, or Vikings, who all either bring strong team fight rotation power, or the ability to control much of the map and allow the rest of their team the freedom to rotate, look for fights, do camps, etc. The big thing to note is that these 2 categories are not mutually exclusive. Many offlaners can duel well while also rotating. Unless you have a specific plan in mind, I recommend drafting someone who can do a little bit of both. Push heroes are also nice to have, as Dragon Knight is hard to capture, and taking early forts gives large advantages there. Heroes like Anub, Greymane, Sylvanas, or Zarya can all take forts quickly if given the chance, off of a pick, a 1-team fight, or enemies simply not close enough to stop them. Point control can also be nice to have. Bottom point especially naturally funnels enemies into an enclosed space, where heroes like Stukov, Mei, Maiev, or Junkrat can take advantage. And that about wraps up what I have for you today. This was probably the hardest guide to create, as Dragon Shire is a very rotation-heavy map, with many priority targets and a lot of decision-making. I tried to cover a lot of different areas you could focus on, but there's still a lot about this map that's left to be discovered and experimented with. Still, I hope the tools I gave you can help you in your upcoming games. But get out there. Remember, her husband is dead. And I'll see you in the Nexus.